Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today's story is intense, full of suspense, heartbreak, and a single moment that changed everything forever. So sit tight because this is one you won't forget. It was supposed to be just another quiet evening at home. My wife Hannah and I had been married for 7 years, or at least that's what I thought. We had the kind of relationship that outsiders envied. Smiles, laughter, vacations, but beneath the surface cracks had been forming for a while. I ignored them, thinking love would patch over any gap. But that night proved me wrong. The argument started small over something trivial. A missed dinner, a forgotten promise, but quickly escalated. I could see the tension in her eyes, the way her hands trembled as she waved them, almost accusingly. Then, without warning, she shouted words that I will never forget. "You were a mistake." Time seemed to stop. Her voice echoed off the walls of our living room, shattering the world I had known. My heart sank, but strangely a cold clarity took over. This wasn't just anger or frustration. This was the end. Everything we had built, the vows, the memories, the future we dreamed of, was collapsing in an instant. I looked at her, really looked, for the first time in months. The woman I had loved, trusted, and built a life with, was now someone unrecognizable. I could feel the betrayal in the air. A bitter truth that had been hidden behind smiles and polite words. And then I did something I never imagined I could do. I took off my wedding ring. Slowly, deliberately, letting it glint in the dim light before placing it on the table between us. "Not anymore," I said, my voice calm, steady, and deadly in its precision. The room went silent. The words hung in the air like a heavy fog, suffocating and final. Hannah's mouth opened, then closed. She couldn't speak. The anger that had burned so brightly in her eyes flickered, replaced by something else: shock, disbelief, and perhaps regret. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply stood there, feeling the weight of years of lies, neglect, and hidden resentment lift off my shoulders with every heartbeat. The realization hit me: I was free. Free from the toxicity, free from the manipulation, and free from a love that had become a cage. She tried to reach for me, her hands trembling, but I stepped back. "Don't," I said, my voice low. "Whatever you think you want, it's too late. I gave you my heart. I gave you everything. And you threw it away with a single sentence." Hannah's lips quivered, tears forming in her eyes. I didn't mean it," she whispered, but the words had no power now. Her apologies, her excuses, her sudden vulnerability, they couldn't undo what had been done. The damage was irreparable. I walked past her to the door, picking up my coat. The night air greeted me like an old friend, cool and honest, a stark contrast to the suffocating atmosphere I left behind. As I stepped outside, I felt a strange mix of sorrow and relief. Sorrow for the years lost to lies and betrayal, and relief for the chance to reclaim myself, to start anew without the shadow of a love turned toxic. The next few days were surreal. Friends and family noticed the change in me, the newfound strength and clarity. I didn't reach out to Hannah, I didn't need to. Every text, every call went unanswered, and I didn't care. I realized that love isn't just about holding on. It's also about knowing when to let go. Weeks later, I discovered the truth behind her outburst. Hannah had been involved in something she thought I'd never find out. A secret she had kept for months, perhaps years. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was calculated. Every smile, every promise, every tender word had been a lie carefully constructed to keep me blind. Knowing the full extent of her deception didn't make me angry anymore. It made me free. Free from doubt, free from fear, free from a relationship that had poisoned my life. And with that freedom came a realization. I didn't need her validation, her love, or her presence to move forward. I had myself, and that was enough. I threw away the memories that weighed me down. Photographs, gifts, letters, all reminders of a love that had turned venomous. I didn't dwell on the past. I didn't cry over what could have been. I embraced the present and the possibilities of the future. Every step I took was a statement. I was no longer bound by her words, her actions, or her betrayal. And then one evening I caught a glimpse of her outside my window. She was watching, perhaps hoping to see me crumble, to witness regret. But I didn't give her the satisfaction. I smiled, not at her but at myself. At the man I had become, the man who had survived heartbreak, exposure, and humiliation, and had emerged stronger, unbroken, and free. Hey everyone, the lesson here? Don't let anyone define your worth, not even the person you loved most. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from someone who's meant to hurt you. Reclaim your power and say, not anymore. Your happiness, your strength, and your future belong only to you. If you enjoyed this story and want more suspenseful, emotional tales that keep you hooked until the very end, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, the next story will be even more shocking, intense, and unforgettable. You won't want to miss it.